Do you hold Bitcoin or Monero? If your wallet is on a centralized exchange, it's not really yours, it's just a number in their database. And say you moved it to your own real crypto wallet, but which nodes are you connecting to and how? Most people never ask that question. And before you call me paranoid, give me 60 seconds and I will show you why this matters. I have spent years consulting for smaller scale centralized exchanges and crypto firms. I know how they track users and the tricks they use to manage liquidity. I have also run my own nodes for years. My take is that the hardened local node isn't optional. It's the only logical choice for a sovereign stack. So let's quickly look at what can go wrong and why running an anonymous local node matters more than ever in 2026. Then I will walk you through exactly how I built my own private node on all hardware I already had lying around. I am going to share 4 links with you and show you some really important information that you should know before we continue. First one, on bitcoin.org about full validation. Here, this is the official documentation. This is the important part, how validation protects your bitcoins. Bitcoin banks and lightweight wallets. Bitcoin banks, obviously, it means this is the centralized exchanges, and the lightweight SPV wallets are actually these simple wallets that you load on your mobile device or on your desktop, and they magically connect and you can send and receive bitcoins. So let's continue. Bitcoin banks and lightweight wallets put your bitcoins at increased risk of being stolen. That risk may be acceptable for small values of bitcoin on mobile wallets, but is it what you want for your real wallet? Now, this is the important question. And they have a very nice table here describing the attacks and what happened if you are on a bank wallet, centralized exchange, SPV wallets, the light client, or Bitcoin Core. It means that you are running your own private node. So for direct theft, obviously centralized exchanges, red, they can get your money. Anyone remembers FTX? Everyone lost their money like in a day. They couldn't do anything. So this is real, it happened before, and it could happen again. SPV wallet, obviously they cannot steal your wallet. This is protected, and private node as well. Then we have bait and switch. If you click, of course, here, I will have the links in the description. You can check them out by yourself and read everything. I'm gonna go fast here. So yeah, if you click, they describe exactly what they mean. So bait and switch, kind of okay on a light wallet, but green on the private node. And then we have fabricated transactions, red, green only if you run your private node. Chain hijacking, transaction withholding, only if you run a private node, you are protected. And at last, of course, chain rewrites, which is something that affects the network. So if this happens, no one is actually protected. So this is the official documentation, right? And they're describing the common kind of attacks, and they tell you how you can protect yourself. And it's really clear. You need to run your own node. Okay, let's go on the second link here. Again, bitcoin.org. And here they explain about the full node. This is the full node documentation, and they say why anyone would use a full node. And they have these special cases. So miners, if you are a miner, businesses, and privacy-conscious users rely on particular behavior from the full nodes they use. So they will often run their own full nodes and take special safety precautions. Again, this is the official documentation. So they say if you run a business, and actually even us, we run our own business. We want to set up our own branch of the bank. And obviously, if you are watching this video, it means that also you are privacy conscious. If you are not, you can believe whatever you want to believe, and yeah, go on your way. So that's for Bitcoin. And then Monero. This is the documentation, the official documentation of Monero D, the Daemon that runs for Monero, that you can run on your own computer, you can run your own node. Okay, so in fact, you can connect to a remote Monero D instance provided by a semi-trusted third party. This is what most people are doing. Such third party will not be able to steal your funds by design, same as Bitcoin. This is a very handy way for learning and experimentation. Okay, and they continue. However, there are privacy and reliability implications to using a remote, untrusted node, because this node is running from people that you do not know. For any real business, you should be running your own full node. Another link, again from getmonero.org, official documentation, Moneropedia. What is a remote node? A node that doesn't run on the same local machine where the Monero wallet is located is called remote node and can be private or open. Most people, again, they use either centralized exchanges or a very light wallet that connects to random servers that they do not know. So what could go wrong, let's say, and what the developers of Monero officially they have to say about that. So if we scroll to the end, here what they write and actually tell to you and me. So be aware that using public remote nodes can be risky. Node operators can link transactions to IP addresses. These risks can be mitigated, but you should always avoid using them if you have the possibility. Run your own node. Okay. And the last one on the FAQ, I will scroll to the end. Is it dangerous to use a remote node? What data a node operator can get from me? It's always advisable, especially for privacy-conscious users, to use a personal node when transacting on the network to achieve the highest rate of privacy. Some people, for convenience, prefer to use remote node. Emphasis on convenience. Prefer to use remote node which are not under their control, public nodes. The convenience of not having to deal with a personal copy of the blockchain comes at a cost. Okay, this is not even my words. Okay, this is the official documentation. Comes at a cost, lessened privacy. A remote node operator is able to see from what IP address and transaction comes from, even if cannot see the recipient nor the amount by design with Monero, and in some extreme cases can make attacks able to reduce your privacy. Some dangers can be mitigated by using remote nodes on the Tor or I2P networks or using a VPN. So it's actually clear. If you want to be protected, if you want maximum privacy and maximum anonymity, let's say, we follow what the developers of Bitcoin and Monero have shared with us. So their recommendations. And they say, run your own node. I do not want to sound like someone that tried to tell you what to do. And this is why I also show you these links, because I know exactly the implications, but for anyone that he is on this belief or thinking that, okay, let's use a public node or a centralized exchange because it's convenient and we want convenience. So convenience equals losing privacy, losing anonymity. So you need to be at least aware. So as I said, I have the links in the description. I would suggest, please, even if you use at the end a centralized exchange, or you say, okay, you are crazy or something, but go read them. Read them first. Educate yourself. To help you even further, I have wrote this article on my website. I have the link in the description and in the comments. This is a step-by-step guide that if you follow it, you will have a really anonymous node running Monero and Bitcoin that you can use it to connect your wallets from your desktop or your mobile phone and transact with the Monero and Bitcoin network. And before I start, I have also to share like my personal kind of story, because this guide, if you start reading it, you will see that I am referring about reusing my 10 years plus old MacBook that I have around here. But at some point, before I had to start with making this video, the GPU died, and maybe also the display, but I'm not sure. It's going to be very expensive to fix that. It does not make sense, so I just throw it away. And I had laying around an HP thin client that I have bought secondhand from here in Thailand, really cheap. So with the memory and everything, excluding the disk, it was something like 50 euro, equivalent of 50 euro. I decided to reuse it for running this node again here locally. This is a really low powered machine, no fans, it's fanless, and the electricity that it requires is really insignificant. As I have completed already the guide, I just used it and I was up and running in less than an hour, all in all, operating system and the daemons running and copying over the blockchain, everything. Let's talk about the three things that we need to have on this setup. So for this sovereign setup, what I need is first security, second privacy, and third anonymity. Security, of course, it means that crypto stays on my wallet. I do not use any third-party services directly, and everything is configured properly in a very secure way. So no third-party servers, no surprises, and everything stays local. Regarding privacy, this is also simple. I do not want to leak my IP address or any metadata when I perform my transactions, sending and receiving. That is, of course, achieved by using my own local private node. About anonymity, this is why we are going to use Tor and operate also exclusively on Tor. Even the other nodes on the network that see my node, they cannot see my real IP. Now, for all these three to work together and work, let's say, in harmony, work and only work if the human element is solid. And what do I mean by that? If you start doing transactions on centralized exchanges, like buying crypto and then sending to your own wallet, or if your node is not locked down properly, you then breaking the entire chain. And so obviously there are kind of levels of anonymity. It can never be, I think, 100%. Even myself, at some point, I may buy some crypto from a centralized exchange with fiat money. And of course, there are ways to mix it and make your final receiving address like invisible. And of course, these are concerns that I'm not going to go deep into this guide. The tech is there and the theory is completely explained. So after that, it's entirely up to you. So let's start with the implementation. On the left here I have the article where I'm gonna copy pasting. On the right, I have SSH'd into the node that we are going to build. Regarding hardware specs and what we are going to need, really any old machine, like even this thin client that I have here, is going to work. The initial blockchain syncing, of course, it's going to be slow if you go to an area, really old machine, but still it's going to work. It's just going to take more time, and at the end, for everyday operations, it's going to work flawlessly. So for sure it requires 8 gigs of RAM minimum. I would suggest 16. I have done it on my thin client with 12 gigabytes of RAM, and it's fine. The caches, of course, are full. All the memory is actually utilized, but I haven't seen any real problems. Storage minimum 256 gigabytes, and I have to explain to you the two modes of the nodes, both in Monero and in Bitcoin. We have a full node, and we have what it's called a pruned node. This is actually, again, a node, not a light wallet. I have to make this very serious distinction. So it's not a light wallet. What it does is that it removes, for Bitcoin, past transactions. It only first, of course, verifies them. So this means that it starts from zero, it verifies all the transactions, and at the end we specify how much disk space we want to be reserved for the blockchain. So let's say 40 gigabytes of space. So the blockchain, for example, is around half a terabyte. It will delete all transactions and only leave around whatever we specify, like 40 gigabytes of disk space, with being filled with the latest transactions and everything that the blockchain needs to verify. This for Bitcoin. For Monero, a pruned node, it actually kind of saves you like 50% of space. And the difference is that it keeps all the transactions for performance verification and opening, let's say, an old wallet. So if you run a prune mode on Bitcoin, if you have like a new wallet, it's going to work. It's going to be syncing every day or wherever you open it, and it's going to be fully updated. But if you try to import a real old wallet from a passphrase or something, this is not going to work. It's going to trigger like a full re-download of the blockchain, because it will have to run and find all the transactions, the past transactions for this wallet, for all these addresses, and create the wallet files. This is not the case with Monero. With Monero, even with a pruned node, you can import a really old wallet, and it's going to work. It's going to find all the transactions, update the balance, everything is okay. What I suggest, if you have like a 1 terabyte disk or 2 terabyte disk, or if you can buy one, because I know the prices are really expensive right now, then run a full node. What I'm going to do, and what I'm going to do in this guide, is that we are going to set up a prune node. And this because also I do not have a 2 terabyte disk lying around, but I do have a 256 gigabyte SSD. So of course SSD, normal hard drive is not going to work anymore. The latency is going to kill everything. But here, of course, I have all the details that you may need if you want to run like a full node, how much disk space actually it currently takes. So for the software stack, we are going to use Alpine Linux. If you want to know more why I choose Alpine Linux, I have also the link here, the article. Tor for anonymity, for validation, of course, the official Bitcoin Core and Monero binaries, Monero D. These are actually compiled on Alpine. Alpine provides these packages, and they are compiled with Muzzle libc. I'm not going to go into detail. I explain everything on the other article about Alpine, so you can check that out. Now, about the wallets, I am only going to set up desktop wallets. I'm going to use Sparrow wallet for Bitcoin and the official Monero GUI wallet. Now, okay, so let's start. Installing the necessary server software, Bitcoin D and Monero D. First, we need to edit the repositories. And we need to uncomment the community. And here with Alpine, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change this for a number to edge. This means that we are going to get the Edge version of Alpine, which provides the really latest packages of Bitcoin D and Monero D. This is not a prerequisite. You can run like the stable version, now it's 3.23, or you can run Edge. This is entirely up to you what you want to achieve. I'm gonna also run upgrade. Also, let me reboot. Okay, we are back. We are going to need these packages. I am going to use do as and not sudo. We're going to need configure, copy or uncomment this line, and that's it. Add a user for Monero. And now we are going to perform the initial blockchain download outside of Tor so it can be fast. Otherwise it can take really long, and we really do not want to do that. Okay, gonna fire up tmux, create the directories. Okay, and I'm going to run Bitcoin first of all, Bitcoin D. So now we will start syncing from the Clearnet. If you are on a low powered machine, I would suggest to not run them in parallel. Sync first Bitcoin, and when it finishes, start Monero D to sync the Monero from the Monero network. And this is Monero D running. It will also start synchronizing. Okay, so both are actually running right now, pre-synchronizing on the Bitcoin. Start. Okay, I will now pause the video, and I'm not gonna wait for the syncing, of course, because I have all the files backed up on my local disk. So I am just going to use them this way, and I will continue in a minute. Okay, so I copy over the blockchain data. We assume obviously that the network is synced. I have here the screenshots. When you see that on Bitcoin the progress is 1.0 and the date is current, you can stop the Daemon. For Monero, you are going to get really like a clear message. You are now synchronized with the network. That's it. Okay, you can stop it, and you can verify that none of them runs. Remove some files that they kinda be used to actually link. They can kind of link the identity of your Clearnet nodes with the nodes that you are gonna run on Tor. So this is you can run this command. It will remove all the files, and we go to server configuration. So firewall setup. This is very important because we're going to use NFTables first of all. And we are going to replace everything with this rule set. This rule set allows only SSH from everywhere, because we will need to connect from the local network, and allows the Tor user to connect to the internet. Also the root user, obviously for system upgrades, whatever. If you have another user, okay, you can add it here safely. But all other users, including the two users that runs Monero D and Bitcoin D, are actually denied internet access. What this means is that they only connect via the Tor proxy, which runs on the local host. They cannot do anything else. So this means your metadata cannot accidentally leaked by the demons connecting to another node on the internet directly. So we save it, validate the rules, fixing the services, verifying the rules are loaded, correct, and we move forward. We also need to edit the SSHD config. And we need to allow TCP forwarding. We are going to need it later for our wallets to connect. Here are some kernel optimization, ccTL. This is actually for my laptop, but it will work almost everywhere. You can tune it up to based on your own hardware. And then we are going to set up Tor. We're going to edit Tor RC. And the Tor socks, we are going, this is only for precaution. It's not going to be used. Okay, we start the Tor service. And then we can actually check if Tor actually works. So we run this command as the Bitcoin user. So we see here that eStore is enabled. So we are good. Now let's configure the Bitcoin Daemon, and in order to do that first we are going to need to create a password actually for a username for the RPC service, because for Bitcoin it needs to be encrypted, so we need the hash. We are going to use the official Python script for that. I have the link, so just go there. Get the raw file, and you can run it on your local machine. So username stack. Okay, if you run it like this, you will see your password, or you can also define your password. Let's say I will make it super simple, lone stack. So this is the hash that we are going to need. And let's come back here. We need to edit the Bitcoin D configuration file. Copy. Everything here is set already, no need to do anything. The only thing that you need to change is the RPC auth, the launch stack, and the hash. That's it. Now let's fire up Bitcoin D. Okay, so at this point also, because the blockchain backup that I had was like a few hours, lagging for a few hours, now it's fully synced also here. You see the progress is 1.0 and the UTC time is actually current. So let's also verify here that Bitcoin D is not leaking out any connections. You can even if we exclude the local host, you see that there are no direct connections to any IP, internet IP address. So we are good. And let's move forward. And let's create the configuration file for Monero. Again, copy paste. No need to change anything. Again, only change the username and password, which is clear text here. So like this, I have made the settings so they can work on like all hardware, like mine, like the laptop that I used, and these also work very good also for my thin client. So no need to change anything. What we are going to need also is actually download a ban list that the Monero community created. I have the link here. If you open it, you will find the links and the explanation, of course, why this is needed. You can skip it if you want, but this actually helps to implement. And we're going to place it to opt Monero ban list txt. Okay, now we are ready to start Monero D Daemon. You will see also messages about hosts being blocked because it's using the ban list. Okay, so Monero D is synced again. You can see the message here. And let's verify again. There are no connections outside localhost, nothing. So at this point we are done with the server configuration. The node is actually synced, ready, and totally secured. So let's move forward with the client setup right now. I have a VM here with Artix. So let's start with the configuration. I have set up a user already that can log into the server. We need to add this part on the SSH config. And the only thing that you need to change here is the hostname. This is actually the IP of the server. Then of course the username and of course the identity file if you somehow have a different name. Make sure that you can connect. Okay, so we are in. We are going to use AutoSSH. So this tunnel is actually enabled automatically, and you do not need to have a window left open, because what we do here is that actually we do port forwarding. We forward the ports from the node, the port that Bitcoin D listens, and Monero D as well, and we port forward them locally to our desktop. I'm gonna use AutoSSH, and the command is this one, and let's verify. Okay, here you can see ports on localhost. So next, so let's install the Monero wallet. And run it. Okay, so here, advanced mode, create a new wallet. And here is the important stuff. We need to select connect to a remote node, add a remote node. Here we specify localhost with the appropriate port. The username and password we set up inside the configuration files. Mark as trusted. Okay. And now you can see that it connected to the remote node, and the wallet is now synchronized, and we are on the last block. So everything works. So that's it. Now you have a wallet. Your account with the address, you can send, you can receive, everything. Okay, super easy and super secure. So that's it. And next we move to the Bitcoin wallet. We are going to install Sparrow. Okay, let's fire this up also. Configure the server. Again, public server, no, we have Bitcoin Core. These are already pre-entered. We need to specify again username and password. No proxy, test the connection, connected, create new wallet. Okay, and as you can see, it says connected to HTTP localhost at the port at 8, again the number of the last block, and that's it. So now wherever you use your Bitcoin wallet with Sparrow or your Monero wallet with the official GUI, you connecting to your local node, and the local node connects to the blockchain networks via Tor. Very simple, and I believe this is the best way to do it. You can find all the commands on the article. Again, I have the link in the description. So that's it. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or on my website, and I will try to answer and help as much as I can. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.